Last season, Sonny Dykes took over a TCU program that had parted with longtime legendary coach Gary Patterson. With the uncertainty, the Horned Frogs were picked 7th of 10 teams in the preseason Big 12 poll. Despite these low expectations, Dykes took TCU to the college football championship game against Georgia. While they got routed in that game, the program vastly exceeded expectations in 2022. TCU comes into 2023 with much higher expectations. However, let's not forget the good fortune that TCU had a year ago. Let's count down the top 5. 5. Down 2 against Baylor, TCU ran the field goal unit onto the field and kicked a game winner as time expired. Dykes talked about how they practiced this play, but there was no room for error. The previous play left 17 seconds on a running clock with no timeouts. 4. Michigan gifted TCU 2 interceptions returned for a touchdown in a playoff semifinal. TCU won by 6 points despite having fewer yards than Michigan. 3. Kansas quarterback Jalen Daniels, a Heisman contender at the time, left the game against TCU with an injury and did not return. TCU came back to win 38-31. 2. TCU had a 5-0 record in one-score games during the regular season. Record in one-score games tends to regress to 500. Regression will have a much different effect on TCU than Oklahoma, who was 0-5 in one-score games in 2022. 1. The backup quarterback almost wins the Heisman. That's right, Max Duggan was not the starter when TCU took the field against Colorado to open the season. Chandler Morris won the job, but then he got hurt in the first game. Duggan had an incredible season and finished second in the Heisman voting. However, he seems unlikely now to make an NFL roster as the Los Angeles Chargers have waived him. Heading into 2023, TCU has Chandler Morris to replace Duggan. This is a piece of good news amidst plenty of roster turnover. Morris will not have the services of TCU's top 3 receivers from last season. This includes NFL first-round draft pick Quentin Johnson. The news might be worse on defense. They lost their most important player on all 3 levels of the defense. Sonny Dykes has excelled at using the transfer portal to upgrade his roster. Both last year at TCU and the previous 4 years at SMU, he will need that help again in 2023, as players like Oklahoma State wide receiver J.P. Richardson, who had 49 receptions and 503 yards in 2022, must make immediate contributions. Even if they do get the transfer bump, TCU is unlikely to have the same good fortune as last season. They are overrated at 17th in the preseason AP poll. My market rankings, which take season win totals and back out a rank and a rating for each team, has TCU at 26th. This overrated prediction might look silly in the early part of the season. TCU should start 5-0 against weaker competition. They should be favored in the next 2 games at Iowa State and against BYU. However, my numbers make them the underdog in 4 of their last 5 games. Don't be surprised if they fall out of the top 25 during this difficult stretch. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Football Analytics Show. My name is Ed Fang, your host. This podcast is brought to you by the Power Ranks Sports Betting Newsletter. This is a free service that strives to be 3 things. 1, valuable. 2, concise. 3, entertaining. Every week, I send out 5 Nugget Saturday, my curated list of sports betting tips, analytics, and humor. This is the newsletter for those looking for action on any given weekend. To sign up for this free service, go to thepowerrank.com. That is my site for better sports betting information through data and analytics. Once again, that's thepowerrank.com. Members of the Power Rank get access to all of my best college football and NFL predictions. If you sign up right now, you'll also get access to an assortment of my NFL preseason bets, including quarterback interceptions. To learn more about becoming a member, go to thepowerrank.net. This is a URL that will take you to a place on my site where you can learn more about my premium services. Once again, that's thepowerrank.com.